Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm here with Colorado. He's our 2.5 starter horse. Now we've started him very lightly, mostly a lot of groundwork, a lot of tying, and for him a lot of trouble. Now since he is young, we're taking certain precautions, making sure we're not putting too much weight on him. I am within the weight limits. And we're keeping our rides really short and more concentrated on control and respect, as opposed to just putting a whole lot of stress and a whole lot of work on a smaller and developing horse. So what we do is we always want to try and move our head, our shoulders, our forequarters, and our hindquarters. And I'm going to show you just kind of how some of those basic exercises start. So number one, we just got to see if he'll walk forward for us. And him walking forward is not exactly the easy thing to do. Now his owner has requested that he be started in a bit. He eventually will be a pony ride horse. So really he's just going to be doing a lot of leading. So it's not really that important for us to be working at him at more than a walk and maybe a little bit of a trot. But right now, what I really want to do is get some feel. Now he's kind of really wobbly, so we want to start moving that head and neck. So we're going to do a spiral down to a move on the forequarters. So I add button number one, get a little bit of motion on the forequarters and walk off. So I am using a little tappy because he has a tendency to get a little bit of suck back going on and not wanting to move forward. We're not putting a lot of pressure on him, just keeping him going forward. So again, this time I'm going to move the forequarters to the left. I'm going to open the door. I'm going to start moving his head around. I'm going to add button number one until I get a little bit of a crossover. That was nice. So this moves the head and the neck and gets him to do a crossover. He's not exactly, he doesn't move forward really well yet. This is his fourth ride, am I correct? Okay, so this is just his fourth time he's ever had a rider in the saddle. And so we don't ride him for very long. What I do want him to do is listen, there we go, to that button number one. All right, so I also want to work on him a spiral down to a one rein stop. So this is my brace. So I want to go and when he gives, I release. So this is also working on his head and neck. So there's a spiral down to add button number one and get a turn on the haunches, which is moving the forehand, and then just getting him to give his head all the way over and stop. Like right now, he wants to go towards that corner, so I'll add a little outside leg. Got to get him going. Come on. He wants to get away from that corner. And all I do is have the stick there to tap him if I need to, get him paying attention. So we're going to spiral down to a one rein stop and wait until I come around. I got to get him away from that corner, and when he stops, release. So that's adding my emergency brake and flexing the head and the neck. Now the next one I want to do is going to be a turn on the forehand, and I'm going to use this fence for this, and that's going to move the hindquarters. Right now, just getting him to move forward requires button number two and go. All right, so we walk down, nose to fence, button number three, fence side, and turn. So give the heels to the hindquarters and walk off. Come on. Come on. So nose to fence, button number three, fence side, yield the hindquarters and turn. Nose to fence, button number three, fence side. Oops. There we go. And turn. Come on. Come on, buddy. Go straight. Come on. And nose Whoa, whoa. Sorry, and relax. Whoa, whoa. There we go. So there you go. There's a couple of simple exercises that you can do starting out on your babies that are going to concentrate on moving their head and their neck, their shoulders, and their hindquarters. And you don't have to put a whole lot of time in the saddle. It's just something to work on, and it's a good place to start for your colts. Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride. And if you want to see more about Colorado, check out his playlist. And remember, if you haven't already, please subscribe.